He's he's not a boy toy.
Boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. Sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. Boy toy. Yes. Sorry. That's Shawn Michaels.
He makes them hot. He makes them shiver.
Ray's going to do it.
Weak. Whenever he's around, he's in the gym. He's doing reps. He sends chills.
Impressive.
Right between their thighs. He's just a Davy boy. Davy boy. He's not your boy toy.
This week on Superhero Speak.
Oh, sexy boy. Oh, episode title.
2 minutes, a new record for going off the rails.
We haven't even started yet.
We go off the rails before the show all the time. What are you talking about?
The Shawn Michaels wrestling theme, no less.
Absolutely.
Should have seen that one coming, actually. Actually, did she?
Oh, God.
Honestly, guys,
I can't use that. I can't use that, JD. I can't use that.
She actually listens, huh?
Not yet.
Well, then you have time. Then you have time.
She keeps threatening she's going to.
Oh,
see,
shit.
that's why when I do start our podcast again, I'm basically committing to no format because the best shit is just like before we actually record the show.
Our format.
We've never had a format.
Dave does a really good job formatting the show. I just make it my role to derail the format every chance I get. Because that's when you get the good stuff. That's when you get like the real interaction.
Yeah, but our only format
Usually
is
it's
we move
John
on to the
break.
next thing at some point or another. We don't have like any time limit or anything.
Well, because Dave's got the transitions down.
All right. Are we ready?
Does he though?
Oh, I think he's pretty good at it. I think he transitions pretty well from segment to segment. He always finds an opening.
Right. Well, because as a host, I know you got to have that power within you. Just be like, okay, now shut the fuck up. Let's go. You got to be able to have to just. We're done.
Especially when I'm on the show, one needs to have that ability, big time.
When both your co-hosts have ADHD, it makes it difficult.
Severe cases from the two of us. It's bad some weeks.
Welcome to the continued podcast adventures of Superhero Speak.
But I think many of the people that love this character and that love superheroes in general have used these stories as inspiration to say, you know what? I'm going to do something good in the world. I'm going to make a difference like my hero when I was a kid.
That is my fondest memory of it, because when you're doing comic books, you want them to affect people, right? You want people to care. You want to strike emotions, and I knew that Clone Saga was striking a lot of emotions.
Can you imagine Pulp Fiction starring Goofy and Mickey Mouse?
I can totally imagine that.
I'm sure somebody's written that one
quarter
too.
pounder with cheese and France, Mickey. What? Boy ale with cheese, Mickey. Yeah, I can totally.
See?
I would watch the hell out of that movie.
Yes, I gladly sacrifice that my progeny to you of a mighty Marvel beast.
But Neil Adams is somewhere going, it's my time.
How do you measure success?
Hey, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I am your host, Dave.
And John.
And I'm JD. I'm not gonna scream into the microphone this week. Jesus.
So this week,
I'm gonna make it 4 Tylenol now.
JD had a wonderful idea to talk about the downfall of one of the greatest superhero franchises of all time.
It was a wonderful idea until we actually had to do it.
That's what I thought too. I'm like, I get these ideas and then I have to commit to them. And I'm like, Jesus, why did I do this to myself?
Or yourself, you take it one step further. Then you say, hey, let's get D-Square and 8-Bit Ray involved.
Trying to spread it around, you know.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's obvious Superhero Speak wants to tank their numbers, bringing us in.
Right.
Yeah, so I was going to say, so obviously to talk about a subject as big as Superman 3, we needed to bring in 2 of our favorite podcasters in the world. Of course, we've got Don from the, oh my God, Omega Level Nerds podcast. I say it every week. My brain just went.
Maybe you should make it Irish.
How are you doing, Don?
I am doing super good. I'm excited about some news that we're going to talk about later. I'm excited that out of nowhere, My kids, and more specifically my 5-year-old, is in love with Ghostbusters.
Oh, mine
we've
too.
watched the first 2 Ghostbusters. Actually, she asked for the second Ghostbusters a second time.
Really?
That was weird, but you know what? Oddly, it's kind of my favorite too. But so all that, and we get to crescendo into the new movie coming out at the end of this week when everyone's listening to that. So it's going to be a family thing. We're going to go see the Ghostbusters Afterlife. So
my kid loves Ghostbusters 1. We watched Ghostbusters 2, but in the middle of it, he goes, Dad, I don't like this movie. I said, just give it a chance. Wait till we get to the Statue of Liberty. It's going to get better.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's good. I like the first one better, though. So he's watched the first one multiple times. I can't get him to watch the second one. Although I forgot how many blue jokes are in the first one because he keeps asking, Dad, why is it Ghost taking Ray's pants off?
Right.
So, God, yeah. You should have him watch the animated series, by the way. The real
we do. He loves it. Loves the animated.
So in the second movie, the love wasn't lifting him higher. Because that's the song they're
playing.
Listen,
I've been singing that all week.
But
your love.
The person's love who does lift us higher
lifting me higher
is the one and only 8-Bit Ray from the Gorilla Brain podcast. How are you, sir?
The one and only. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, I'm doing fine, man. I'm just dripping at the bit here to get into Superman 3. Maybe talking about Disney Plus news, whatever we want to talk about here. If we wanted to talk about Dave's sexy boy time, we can do that too, but that would be an entire episode all by itself because it lasts a long time.
That episode would definitely be all by itself because nobody would want to get nervous.
We did have multiple middle-aged nerds.
Multiple what now?
Multiple middle-aged nerds sing Sexy Boy, the Shawn Michaels theme song before recording.
That's how we warm up.
So, little peek behind the curtain, everyone.
I promised that I'd leave it lie. And I'm gonna live it up to my word for a change.
I'm telling her not to listen to this episode. All right.
Then in that case.
Well, how are you?
On me and Ray.
How are you doing, JD? How was your week?
I'm good. We started wrestling season. I threw my back out on Monday, which was great. Let me tell you, to go through the whole week. I started coaching the 5-year-olds because my friends suckered me into doing that. My son is on the team, and it's horrible. It's one of the worst experiences that I've ever been through in my entire life. I feel like I'm doing penance for bad things that I've done, and it's awful. We went to the farm this weekend. Wife's cousin got married, and then I went to watch some AEW pay-per-view last night in beautiful Minneapolis, Minnesota. So that was fun. It was fun. I had a good weekend.
A-dub.
It was a good time.
Oh, cool. Sounds good. How about you, John? What's new in your world?
Nothing much. Just getting ready for, the Christmas season. I've got half my shopping done already. Yeah.
I got my Christmas tree up. I know people listening can't see, but look behind me. My Christmas tree's back there.
So okay. So
it's not even Thanksgiving yet.
People like you are the problem. Okay,
it's not me. It's not me.
I went out to dinner last night, and on the way back, I'm like, okay, it's almost Thanksgiving. I think I have to bring out my Christmas stuff. And lo and behold, on the way back with my friends, there's Christmas lights. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We haven't gotten into Thanksgiving yet. So I assume it's not a live tree.
It is. It's not a live tree, and it's not my idea either. But that tree has been up for 2 weeks since Halloween.
Weeks.
Yeah, I'm married to a psycho.
Considering the last 2 years, though,
respect.
A lot of people may be really jonesing for a little Christmas spirit because, it's been a rough 2 years.
Fair.
So,
speaking of a rough time, Dave, how was your weekend?
JD.
Did you replace the springs in the bed?
I'm just asking a question, sir.
But Ray's piling on.
My
week was good.
I bet it was.
Everything sounds like an innuendo now.
You're lobbing these up yourselves, Dave. You're doing it.
I am trying not to. Yes, no, it's average week. Nothing really special happened.
Okay. So it wasn't special. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, you better tell her not to listen to this episode, Dave.
I would too. I'd be like, oh well, you don't listen to this one.
Something I'm trying to not discuss on my podcast.
I'm sure the people listening have no idea what we're talking about.
No, I think they've got plenty of it. Unfortunate.
Well,
my goodness.
Good for you for having an uneventful weekend.
Yeah.
4 out of 10.
And then I got to watch Superman 3 to get ready for tonight. And wow. Funny how you remember things, and then when you watch them again, it's like, oh, okay.
There is a phrase that you can't go home again. The phrase for me should be, you shouldn't ever go home again.
Yes, yeah.
You should burn home down.
That holds true.
Yes, but we will definitely be getting into that shortly. Before we get there, we got just a little bit, John. Don't get mad. Social media madness this week.
My favorite part.
Because you get to listen to him, torture us. That's why it's your favorite part. You don't have to be.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part about social media is John's reaction every single week. I love it.
Fair. This is a great Garfield gift too, by the way, Dave. Kudos.
Yes. So, oh shoot, sorry, clicked on the wrong thing. Yeah. So we talked about Chris Pratt going to be the voice of Garfield, and Violent Semen Inferno said, "I think Chris Pratt's voice on Garfield would actually sound good, but I find it disappointing. The actors are always the ones doing the famous voices, and actual voice actors aren't given the same level of credit." So that was your point last week.
Yeah, I was like, John, did you write this tweet?
No, I didn't, and he pronounced it wrong, and I'm not going to correct.
No, I'm not either.
Point it out.
No, I was going to let it lie too. I'm like, I've been hard enough on Dave this week.
Wait, what did I pronounce wrong?
Never mind.
No, wait, what did I?
I just can't with this episode. Oh my god!
Oh,
we're 5 minutes in. Oh, hey, I did it again.
No, it wouldn't normally last that long for him.
Oh, see, you
jeez.
get mean. I just make jokes. You're mean.
That's just his jealousy.
He gets me back. Don't worry.
Damn.
He's a lonely, bitter old man.
I'm gonna start counting how many That's What She Said's on this episode.
Oh, there's so many.
That's what she said. We'll have to start one more right there.
So anyway, we're talking about Chris Pratt and Garfield, weren't we?
Yeah, Garfield, right? Unfunny, but yeah,
it's semen, isn't it? Anyway. Oh my God!
For once, there's an inability to pronounce anything.
There's a third. That's what she said. But I mean, let's move on.
Right.
Yeah, no, but I agree. I like John. That's a good point. I still don't see Chris Pratt being a good voice though. Like for it. What do our guests think? Ray, what do you think of Chris Pratt being the voice of Garfield and Mario?
I don't know who was Captain America again. I always get Pratt and get that mixed up. So Chris Evans was Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four, right? First, That's incorrect. Bill Murray was actually the voice of Johnny Storm on a radio show back in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah, Bill Murray was Johnny Storm. So
Bill Murray was also Garfield.
Even better.
Bill Murray was also Peter Venkman, who was voiced by Lorenzo Music, who was Garfield.
My God, it's all connected.
We're one step away from Kevin Bacon.
It's a Bill Murray multiverse.
It really is.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, so we didn't hold Chris Pratt up to that, did we? Like, Chris Evans, it wasn't like, he didn't sound like Bill Murray. That's because nobody remembers Bill Murray was the voice of Johnny Storm. So it doesn't really matter who voices these cartoon characters. It's like them replacing Buzz Lightyear and it's not Tim Allen. Who cares? A voice is just a voice, in all honesty, unless it's like iconic.
Well,
Chris Pratt doing Garfield's not iconic.
And even stars usually give it a little bit of a flair so that you don't even really it takes you a second to catch that it's actually that person, right? Except for whoever played Robin for the Teen Titans. He does the same voice in freaking every commercial.
Scott Melville.
Yeah. That's his voice is it's the same in everything.
I don't know. I could
see like Gilbert Gottfried, and he's a bird and everything.
Morgan Freeman.
True. Oh yeah. Yeah, true.
Well, that's in his contract. Morgan Freeman can only be Morgan Freeman in any role that he's in. It's in his contract. It's amazing that he could pull that off.
Well, since he's God, I guess that,
Well, exactly.
He is God.
How about you, Don? I know you're looking forward to Garfield.
Yeah, no, I literally have nothing. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. There's a whole process when they cast voice actors, and so you could say it should be this person, it should be that person. I don't know. I have no strong feelings with Chris Pratt or Garfield. I mean, if Bill Murray's still around, that's who I'd pick, but I got nothing really. I mean, it's Chris Pratt. He's in with the kids probably because of his Guardians of the Galaxy Star-Lord character. And people are going to eat up that Mario. I know people have kind of poo-poo on that because it's Chris Pratt, because that thing's going to be huge. So, yeah, it's weird, but I couldn't tell you why, really. It just seems weird.
And if you guys were interested, Bill Murray doing the voice of Johnny Storm is on YouTube, and he did an interview talking about it. It was in 1975.
What
There
was
you
it,
go.
a radio show?
Yeah, it was a radio show, kind of like a little serial show. You know, like the Lone Ranger used to be on the radio and things like that. John might remember.
I remember the Lone Ranger.
Did you know him?
No, he was too young. He was too young when I went through that time.
Thank God you're off of me. All right.
That's what sheep.
That's 5. Ugh.
And also, we had talked about Gael Garcia. Oh, shoot. What's his last name? That's it. Got cast as Werewolf by Night. And Anthony Trombley Ciotti, I know I'm butchering that, said, here for it. We're huge fans of his all across the board, and is about to be and this is about to be an experience. That was my question, because it's not like this person is a podcaster.
Perhaps she's royalty.
Oh, the royal we. Yeah, I don't know. Again, like, what was it that we said he was in that we were? I don't even remember.
We liked it. I forget what he was in, but we talked about it last week, and we're like, oh yeah, he was good in that.
The Coco?
Oh yeah, he was in Coco. We loved Coco.
Yes. That was it. So, but that's the only thing we know him from. I mean, I know, Don, I know you're a huge fan of Mexican cinema.
Yeah, exactly. I know I've seen Coco, and after your discussion last week, I understand what role he played, and it's good. But yeah, I got to stay on the bench here, Coach. I got nothing. Kind of an unknown actor to me, other than Coco, which I didn't know till I learned it on Superhero Speak.
I mean, they do that. Look at Chris Pratt. He was the fat guy from Parks and Rec. They did all right with him, so it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Ray. You know.
Yeah.
I know you're looking so forward to Werewolf by Night.
Absolutely. I've been petitioning this in the chat for 2-3 years now. I've been saying it all the time. We need a Werewolf by Midnight movie. Come on. We can get Morbius, but we can't get Werewolf. Doesn't make any sense to me. I would like them to do a Midnight Suns. You know, maybe bring Wesley Snipes in from the multiverse. And then we get we already got Ghost Rider. Get Nick Cage. He'll work for pennies.
He'll
get him back.
He'll do anything.
Yeah, he'll do anything. I've seen some of his later movies. Woo, yeah. He will do anything.
He just likes to work. He just likes.
Yeah, his house and all burned down, so he has nothing. Yeah, he has nothing.
He would like to eat. I think that's just. All right.
I like the idea of a Midnight Suns thing. Midnight Suns is an underrated Marvel series from the 90s. Let's do that.
Yeah. All right. You get on it. You write it, JD.
Yeah, get right on there.
All right. Well, that's it. That's it for social media this week. John, I kept it short for you because,
Hey, just more time to hear these guys talk about Superman 3. So I can't wait to hear what we're going to say about this. This is going to be interesting. It really is.
Oh, my God. I'm going to smack you, JD. On that note, here is our good friend D Squared to tell you you can follow Superhero Speak and be a part of social media madness.
Enjoying the show? Want to be part of social media madness? Make sure you are following superheroespeak.com, where you can find all of the show's social media links at the top of the page. While you're there, you can check out old episodes of the podcast as well as some other great content. Check the site often because we are posting some great comic reviews as well as comic book and movie news content every day. Make sure and follow us on Twitter at Superhero Speak. And while you're there, check out the rest of the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. You can follow them at @stars_geek. The Geek World All-Star Podcast Network include great programs such as the Pop Prison Power Podcast, Cult 45, So Wizard, Fans on Patrol, the Gorilla Brain Podcast, and of course, Superhero Speak. Search for #GWAllstars. You will not be disappointed. Now it's back to Dave and the boys on Superhero Speak.
We can do it. He's right there.
No. All right. Thanks for that, Don. And while you're here, why don't you tell people where they can find Omega Level Nerds podcast?
Well, you can, of course, go on the Apple iTunes and the YouTubes there, and you'll find us there. We'll actually be uploading a new Dragon Ball Z Abridged reaction, and we'll be getting back to the podcasting soon, so stay tuned to that. And, I fucking hate Sony for this whole Morbius thing. I'm sorry. As you guys were talking about it, I'm sorry. It just welled up inside me. This is just ridiculous. Okay.
That's what she said.
I agree.
8.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
It is dumb.
Okay.
It's the least. Is this the least anticipated superhero comic book / movie of all time? I think.
New Mutants.
No, I look forward to that. I was the one guy.
Yeah,
You were the only one that looked forward to it.
And I went to theater and enjoyed that movie. So
Really?
Okay.
I still haven't seen
yes,
it.
You're the
I
guy.
did. Yes.
Okay. If Don likes it, then I feel better about spending time and watching it because it was heartbroken hearing how bad it was.
It is actually done well. I don't care what anyone says. It is done well. And it could actually link to the MCU at some point. But anyway, no, don't listen to the haters. That's a good.
I think the most least popular movie to look forward to in Marvel history would have to be Fantastic Number 4 or whatever it was called.
Fan Four Stick.
Oh, Fan Four Stick.
Yeah.
Four Stick, yeah.
And fucking send thing out there to kill people. Yeah, that movie sucks.
The only thing good that came out of that movie was the menu items at Denny's. They were great. I wish they'd bring them back.
I do remember that.
The Human Torch
that.
skillet. Oh, give it to me, Daddy.
Well,
the Hobbiton skillet was also good. I don't know if you caught their Lord of the Rings Hobbit, or no, it was Hobbit special.
Well, Ray, why don't you tell the people where they can find more great conversations about the menu items Denny's on the Gorilla Break podcast?
Well, you can usually find them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. I'm still doing the Twitch channel. I'm going to start actually doing watch-alongs on Twitch. That should be a lot of fun. I saw Colt 45 do it a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, I could do that. Because a lot of people like to hear me talk for some odd reason. I don't know why, but but yeah, the podcast is out there. After this episode, I might actually do an actual watch along with Superman 3 because I got a lot to say on that. So yeah, I mean, it's out there. Go and find me. And back to you, Dave.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to take our
That's what she said.
We're going to take our first commercial break, and we'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I am not calling this episode. That's what she said. All right. We are back, boys and girl. And we got a little bit of news this week. Yesterday was Disney Plus Day, which seems like the most wasteful day on planet Earth, but they did make some announcements. And okay, before we get into the announcements, what do you guys think about how they did it? Where it was like they had a sizzle reel thing put together, but you had to go onto Disney Plus to see it. Like if the idea is to entice people to get subscriptions to Disney Plus, don't you think they should have put it on YouTube or something?
Well, that's what the bootleggers are for.
Yeah, I mean, it was on there 30 seconds after it was done anyway.
Yeah, as soon as something drops anywhere on the internet, dude, it's already on the net. Like you can download it.
Yeah, it just seemed like a weird marketing thing on their part. Yeah. And I thought, okay, well, maybe the next day
weren't they giving it away for free that day? Like you could log on and wasn't it free for Disney?
Free, but it was cheap. It was like $1 or $2 for a day.
Okay, I don't know. I'm already a subscriber, so I don't know.
As is everyone, or they have someone else's password, so it doesn't matter.
Even if you don't want to be, you have Disney Plus, and you know it.
Mm-hmm.
I think JD borrows somebody's password.
Not for Disney Plus. For Netflix, absolutely.
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
I'm the
opposite.
I
do that for HBO Max and Netflix and Amazon.
Yeah,
Disney Plus and Hulu I pay for.
My brother and I share some accounts because family. Someone's paying.
Not me. If I can't get a hold of it, Yara Har me mateys. I've been doing it since 2002. I ain't saying no names.
That was good.
Well, I share my accounts, so I've got a couple of accounts that get shared, but with family. So.
Sharing with your cats doesn't count. All right, someone has to be excited about this first announcement, other than me.
I think Don and I are both really thrilled about this one, actually.
So in the 90s, we had the X-Men Renaissance with the comic, and then we got a cartoon, beloved cartoon, the X-Men 90s cartoon.
Beloved show with the worst animation.
Yes, and it has been oh my God, and it gets memed so much.
Memeable.
Yes. So they've announced they are bringing back that cartoon in the sense of they're creating new episodes. And they've said that it's a continuation of the original show, and the original voice cast is coming back.
Most of them that still walk the earth.
Yeah,
those
that are still with us.
The opening of that was like one of the best.
It's iconic.
Yeah, it's like
John, have you ever seen the anime version? Because like when the show was in Japan, it was the same show, but they had an intro that was like 1,000 times better. Have you ever witnessed the X-Men Japanese version?
No, I've seen Japanese Spider-Man. I've seen Japanese.
John, take 5
minutes
minutes of your life to watch this.
It's on YouTube.
Yes, I'm going to find it. John, I want you to trust me on this. I've known you for a long time now. You will love it. I'm sending it to you right now.
Fair enough.
I don't know if I would trust him, John. I don't know. I
don't know. I mean, look what 11. They did with Spider-Man. They gave him, a giant robot. I mean, like it's just they make everything more interesting. So I can't wait to see what this turned out to be.
It's good.
So what do you think of Don?
I am, of course, very excited. Now, unlike everybody, most people, I did not get introduced to X-Men this way, but I sure as hell was excited when this first came out. Although, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I remember having to watch like the first 2 episodes for about 8 weeks in a row for some reason. But
There's
I still
a reason.
nonetheless... Yeah, no, okay, good. I'm remembering right. But I still did it nonetheless. The show was so good. But they say this is a continuation, and that's where I'm very interested, because for those of you that may remember, or if you're like me, you watch the show again once they put it out on Disney Plus. That 5th season where they cheaped out on the anime, like you've already said the animation sucks.
It's already bad, yeah.
They really cheaped out on the 5th season, and the writing was not as good. And at the end of it, Xavier goes off to be with Elandra, and Magneto gets the X-Men. So are they going to continue there? Are they going to chop off the 5th season, or are they going to go into the X-Men 92 comic? Because there's a comic series called X-Men 92 that, yes, was very good and was a continuation of the show. So where are they actually going to continue? Or they may decide to just chop the whole 5th season and go from there. So I'm very interested to see. Is this going to be part of the multiverse now that we've established in the MCU? Are they going to dial back the Jean Grey orgasms? Oh, Scott! Oh, Scott!
Professor X. I think Professor X had more than her.
Right. Exactly.
Professor X, every episode just seemed like he was just like...
Yeah. I loved Apocalypse from that show, so I hope they bring him back. I'm as far beyond they as they are beyond you. I'm Apocalypse, they are living.
Some of the storylines they tackled were way better than the movies.
Because they ripped them off right from the book. Like a lot of that is the Chris Claremont playbook they're borrowing from heavily.
Yeah.
Will it still be kid friendly? Will it still be kid friendly, or is it going to be for us 40-year-old nerds?
Here's the question I have: Are they going to keep true to the? Are they going to keep true to the animation style? Is Disney capable of intentionally doing bad animation?
That'd be like doing Minecraft, like
Yeah, are there animators in 2020 to be like, do we really have to do it like this?
Yeah.
Well,
right.
it'll be clean.
If it was bankrolled by Netflix, then yeah, you'd get the same bad animation because they way underpay their animators.
John, check the chat. I think they're going to skip the comic because I assume they're going to treat this kind of like they treated the Star Wars EU stuff and just worry about kind of doing their own thing more than the ancillary thing. So my thought is they're probably going to pick up where they left off, and because there is stuff with Magneto running, there are stories they can still borrow from. There's an underrated run from the mid 80s where Magneto's running the school that really doesn't get a lot of love. So why not start there?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Ray, I know you want Hickman to write it, so
don't start.
Yeah, we've had this convo. I'm on Ray's side now. Fuck Hickman.
Oh
yeah.
Well, he left y'all high and dry, so yeah.
That's what I love to hear.
He most certainly. Although, anyway, I'm not gonna get into it, motherfucker. But
It's got that Substack money now.
Mm-hmm. But no, I don't think that 92 X-Men or whatever they're calling it, 97, 3 years later, whatever. I don't think that it's. They're not going to keep that same grainy animation style because that was a completely separate studio. And then when Marvel went bankrupt, Saban took over, who did Power Rangers, and that's why the animation and the voice acting turned to dog shit.
Yeah,
and
that's what
I think
Saban
the last
was at the
episode
time.
was a Christmas special. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but they didn't specialize in animation. They were more live action. So yeah, it was a cheap property at the time because Marvel was just completely bankrupt, and they're like, all right, let's make a little money, and Saban bought it up, and they just did what they did with it, and then they tacked it on to season 5, and that's how they ended the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horrible way to go, but I believe that they can go back and make it a little cleaner. Where they would go from there, I don't know. They can just make new episodes. You know, I mean, look at it like this. We didn't start off with an origin story for the first episode of the X-Men.
No,
it's true.
We went right to Night of the Sentinels, and you were introduced to the characters as they went along. So, I mean, they could pretty much do the same thing.
I'm a big fan of that too. I like that they just throw. I like that just in fiction in general, when they just throw you right into the action and don't spend a lot of time, getting into backstories and stuff like that. They just let it evolve, especially over the long term, because you get there eventually. And it's much cooler to have this teenage, like you get Jubilee as your point of entry character, and then she's just normal. One day she has these powers, and all of a sudden giant robots are after her, and then she gets thrust into this world. I mean, it's really cool. Like in retrospect, it's really a cool way to launch the series. And like Don and Ray, I assume you guys watched Pride of the X-Men, right?
Oh yes,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
where Kitty Pryde is the entry point there.
Mm-hmm. It's like the same idea, but like they just kind of like they took the same idea, just like messed it around a little bit and made it more in line with the Jim Lee stuff. So same idea, and I think it works better. Well, it definitely works better. Probably the X-Men is very mediocre, but the rest of the show that was good. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this. I think Disney's going to do a cool thing, and yes, it'll be watched mainly by 40-year-olds who sing with their kids. I'm like, watch this, it's really good.
So that's what happened with He-Man, and look what happened with that.
Yeah, they try. Well, there's a perfectly good He-Man for kids on Netflix. Just don't.
That's true.
Don't click the Kevin Smith one. Because my kid checked out. He goes, He-Man dies. I don't know. He was done, and then he watched the other one, which, quite frankly, is a lot of fun. So I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, the other thing we got was some first looks at upcoming Disney Plus shows, and I found a video that had like some of them in it, so that's why I included it all in one. So we'll take these one at a time. First, we'll start with She-Hulk. We got our first look at Jennifer Walker's foray into the MCU. It looks like they might be playing around with the origin a little bit from the comics, but
they kind of have to. I mean, the MCU is its own continuities.
Yeah. So, what do we think? Does it look good? Are we excited? Come on, John, you can go first.
It looks like she's going to break the fourth wall, which, that last part there where she turns and says, "You wouldn't like me when I'm angry," that was staged exactly like that one iconic scene in the original 1970s.
No, I don't think that's a clip from the show. I think that's from like a press conference or something, when she got introduced as She-Hulk.
No, that was part of the first look.
But the character does it anyway. Like ever since John Byrne, She-Hulk's been a Deadpool-esque as far as breaking the fourth wall goes, being a little more played for laughs. And it does have that vibe to it. So I hope that's where we're going.
She doesn't break it like Deadpool. But she does more like Ally McBeal.
Yeah, no, that's a very good comparison actually.
That's kind of, but yeah, no, I mean, I can't wait.
Harrison Ford's old squeeze.
I think they're still current squeeze, right?
Oh yeah.
Or, you may be right. Excellent.
No, they're still married, right?
Dude, Harrison Ford's 80. You got a lady in her 50s. You hang on to that thing. That's
well, especially her, because what a lucky guy. But yeah,
Harrison Ford.
I know. Well, yeah, true. I mean, they're both lucky. I mean, it's a Hollywood marriage. But the fact that it lasted this long is awesome.
That's what she said.
12.
God damn it. So anyway, back to this. So yeah, I you notice they haven't shown her face yet. They're probably still working on the Uncanny Valley thing.
13.
Actually, what I think is happening is they hired. There was a guy on YouTube who redid the last part of the Mandalorian where they showed Luke Skywalker's face.
Yes,
and he did a better job on YouTube. I bet you that they brought him over to Marvel and is having him teach the Marvel guys how to do her face right, so that it looks good, because she's going to be that all the time. So
Don just said, "Fuck y'all." Bounce.
He's like, screw She-Hulk.
Does he not like Tatiana Maslany? Or
I don't think he likes She-Hulk.
Oh, he likes you. I don't know. Hopefully Don will return. I think this looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. It's all right.
Yeah.
Moon Knight looks better. Am I wrong? I'm on an island on that one.
I don't know Moon Knight. I do. So I think it's you didn't miss much, Don. But
no more Harrison Ford solo.
So
Zoom.
Yeah, no. I don't know what you mean, JD, because it's like I don't know how interesting it's going to be to watch a guy deal with split personality or something.
I watch it every week with you, John.
I am a Gemini.
So am I. I think it was interesting they didn't reveal a lot for Moon Knight.
No.
Just kind of like give you a feel of the show, but not anything. And in fact, we didn't get a full shot of him in the costume either.
Which is
I'm wondering if, again, so let's go back to, they didn't show Jennifer Walker's face, She-Hulk's face.
But that's going to be CGI, so they could be there.
But they didn't show or are they like leaving us in suspense on purpose?
That would be a nice change.
Because even the other trailer, the clips that we got, Miss Marvel, you don't see her in her actual costume.
You see a reflection of her in the building windows.
Yeah, but not a good clear shot.
Right. Yeah,
and you see proto costumes of her like trying stuff out. So I wonder if they did that on purpose, because I know Ray hates that, and that they were trying to piss Ray off, I think.
Nothing's trying to piss me off. Look, this is all I have to say about She-Hulk. I don't really care. I don't really care.
Fair.
Here's what I care about. Okay, since Deadpool is now officially part of Disney, correct?
Yeah.
Does that mean that I'm going to get my She-Hulk banging Juggernaut scene? Do y'all remember when that happened in the comics?
I don't remember that, but now I don't know if I want to see.
I do remember that.
She was the Juggernaut's attorney, and she banged the Juggernaut. It's a 2-issue thing.
Okay.
I think they retconned that into the Juggernaut telling stories, but I don't remember exactly. But yeah, that did happen.
I'm hoping to get it with Deadpool filming it.
You're hoping to get it from Juggernaut? Is that
13?
13.
Yeah.
14.
Who's got Rough Riders?
That was intense.
Yeah, they were really.
Oh my god. Anyway,
are they filming a DMX video?
Oh,
stop!
Oh, that was someone driving by on a dirt bike. That's what you guys.
Okay.
Okay. I was confused.
Go on, Don. What do you think about She-Hulk?
No, I'm in the I don't care camp. I mean, I'll certainly watch it, but really any of the trailers, there wasn't enough there other than the Moon Knight stuff, which does look cool.
You can't even call them trailers, though.
Yeah.
Right? No,
trailers. They were snippets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly, snippets. But hey, I'm happy for Oscar Isaac. Seeing as he was killed for being stupid in Dune, so glad to see him now as Moon Knight and showing his range.
He was Apocalypse.
He was Apocalypse.
Listen, not my world. That movie don't.
He was the Ivan Ooze
exist.
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Ivan Oozelips.
Yeah, Ivan Oozelips.
He looked like shit, but he was comic accurate.
Wait, he was killed in Dune for being stupid?
Yes, I feel.
Yeah, he listens to not that he has a
it's
choice.
in the middle of the night. Let me get out of bed and okay, you're fucking, like they've already shown that they have little bugs, like people that are willing to die in a crevice in your wall to get a little bug out there to kill your son, and you're just walking around anyway.
Well, he knows he's dead from the second they take that job.
Absolutely.
He moves his entire family to this planet knowing that they're all going to die. So you can debate how smart the Duke is to begin with, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I derailed us.
14.
No. That doesn't count.
See, Ray agrees.
Definitely 14.
Yes.
So
railed.
So you were saying Moon Knight? Are you excited for that?
Yeah, that looks good. That looks, and I do like Oscar Isaac, and I like the range they're showing with the multiple personalities. I like Moon Knight's Edge. He's just kind of a darker superhero, and I like that.
I did get the Batman feel when he was standing over the guy beating him.
Well, because he's like Batman, but like crazy, like legit crazy, like not
right,
like Batman's
like Azrael.
Yeah. He's very much like Azrael. Yeah.
Right. He's like Batman if Batman couldn't choose on Bruce Wayne or Batman right now. Like he
So
can't
he makes
choose
up a
that
third
shit. Right.
So he's like, I matches Malone this week. Yeah, I mean that's Moon Knight. Remember how awesome Days of Future Past was when you got that post-credit sequence when we found out Apocalypse was going to come? I was shit, we're going to get Apocalypse. And then they gave it to us. And you're like, oh, they gave us Apocalypse. Disappointing.
Yeah. So you're right. Like, I can't remember who said it. You wouldn't really call these trailers. They were just kind of like, here's the tease of what's going on. But
hey, you know what? It's a lot better than when they did the expo last year, and all they had was like with the what if, and all they had was just the poster, Blade, just the poster.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit more, and I think that's good.
Fair.
At least we got a snippet.
Yeah.
The one that kind of was like, was the Obi Wan first look, because like
really
that was that.
Much.
I was about to say that was really just concept art and Ian McGregor talking about returning and telling us Hayden Christensen's back as Darth Vader, which I still don't know how they're going to do that.
What do you mean? How
flashbacks?
Flashbacks, but didn't you see where they were training with the saber? Like Hayden, like the only thing you saw of Hayden Christensen, he had a mask on while he was training. Like, I don't know. I got excited about that. I don't like.
No, here's my thing. If they're not doing flashbacks, if they're doing his time on Tatooine, because Ian McGregor even talks about like a rematch with Darth Vader.
Yeah, he's going to get a Vader helmet split.
That never seemed to be canon before now.
It is now.
It is now, right? But the issue I have is, okay, you put Hayden Christensen in the suit. I don't understand why you need him then. You could put anyone in the suit. And two, like, who's doing the voice? Is it James Earl Jones or is it Hayden Christensen?
Well, it's not going to be Hayden Christensen. It's going to be James
That
Earl
is
Jones.
interesting. Yeah, but like I said, though, we're going to get a Vader helmet split. Like, half his helmet's going to be gone. You're going to see Hayden Christensen in the suit, in the mask. You're going to see.
I meant because remember they got that thing that Vader sits in where he gets the helmet taken off and he can stay alive. So I imagine we'll get some stuff in there and he'll brood or something, right?
Yeah, brooding Vader.
This is the fight we need because I'll tell you, I was excited for the Obi Wan Darth Maul rematch. Obi Wan straight clowns Darth Maul when he finally kills him. So I want to.
Is that in Rebels? Or is that
it was in Rebels.
Yes, it was in Rebels, and it's literally like
the Twin Sons episode,
and that's it. Maul's done. So I'm a little disappointed by that. I want to see old Obi-Wan and Vader go at it.
But that's how much better Obi-Wan had gotten because he had been just spending all that time training on Tatooine while he's waiting for Skywalker to grow up.
Clowns from the first time too, though.
I like Darth Maul, and I was surprised that fight was really just Obi-Wan.
Well, Maul was essentially just a gangster at that point, right? Running the Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, he was probably
because he
just
was
sitting on his ass getting fat like the Kingpin.
Remember when we had that awesome reveal at the end of Solo? That's going to go nowhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Darth Maul. Sorry, we made a bad movie. You're not getting this anywhere else.
Ray Park said, "Fuck this. We're not going there."
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get him in the new Obi-Wan show.
They should.
I hope so.
You could.
I don't see why not. Rebels and Clone Wars are canon. Why not?
They should. There's no reason not to.
Right. Yes. So
I don't know.
You know what always pissed me off about Darth Maul was that it was Ray Park in the costume, and then it was another person that voiced him. Why didn't they just use Ray Park's voice? I've met the man. He's got a good voice. Why not just use it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like they do that a lot. I mean, who's that actor was in the Silver Surfer suit in
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones, right? And he was also Abe Sapien. Now, it's his voice in the second Hellboy movie.
The first one is David Hyde Pierce.
Yes. And David Hyde Pierce was like, well, like, why are you hiring me? Like, he's just as good of an actor as me. Like, there's no need to use my voice. And that's why they used him for the second one.
Which was a kind way of David Hyde Pierce saying, I don't want to do these movies.
No, but even, what was the...
No actors turn money down.
I'm
sure he thought he was good, but come on.
who it was Lawrence Fishburne was the Silver Surfer.
Lawrence Fishburne was the Silver Surfer.
And Lawrence Fishburne, when he went to do the ADR, was like listening to it. He said, "Why am I doing this? Like his performance is good enough. Like, why am I here doing this?"
Because Doug Jones is in a draw, and they could try to get people in saying Lawrence Fishburne, which I don't think did anything for the Silver Surfer because the movie sucked ass anyway. But I get where the studio was coming from on that.
Yeah, but then I don't know. I think it goes back to what Ray said earlier. Like, who cares who does the voice? Half the time.
I agree. I'm not. Executives are stupid. Like, you have to keep that in mind. They don't think like normal people.
No,
they're automatons.
Yeah, they're like John. All right.
No, it's for them. It's the cocaine.
I love the cocaine. Mama, can you? Sorry. Had a Buck Cherry moment there.
All right. The last little bit of news that I included this week was an interview with one of our favorite actors of all time, Henry Cavill. He was talking with the Hollywood Reporter, and they basically were like talking about the possibility of him taking over the mantle of James Bond. Now that we know that Daniel Craig has left the role, they're looking for a replacement. And in the interview, he also said he would love the opportunity, and this has been thrown out there before, to play Captain Britain in the MCU. So I was kind of curious what you guys thought. A, could you see him as Bond? And B, would you want him to join the MCU as Captain Britain?
He could play Bond because he has a stiff upper lip.
That was bad.
Yeah, I'll take this. Yes, but to both. I think he'd be a great James Bond. I think he would be fine as Captain Britain. If I cared a little bit about Captain Britain, I might feel more passionately on this.
Thank you.
One way or the other. No one cares.
I want an Excalibur movie, damn it.
Alan Moore doesn't care about Captain Britain. So no one.
Alan Moore doesn't care about a whole lot of things in life.
But we've got
wants
the
to get
TVA
paid.
now.
I respect that. Wants to get paid.
We've got the
Captain
TVA
Britain's
now.
a girl right now.
Yeah,
just FYI.
But the Captain Britain Corps, right? That's like
they just got reestablished. But Betsy Braddock, since she has been released from the Psylocke body, I'm not going to go into it.
Oh my God.
Is now Captain Britain.
So I'm saying what I'm saying is we're probably going to get Captain Britain at some point because if they brought the TVA in, the Captain Britain Corps can't be far behind, right? So
lots of times when reading old X-Men books, you're really working through Chris Claremont's fetishes and kind of what he's super into at that moment. So anyway, I don't know. I'd rather see him do more Superman, quite frankly, like good Superman stuff. That's just me.
I don't really doubt that's going to happen at this point.
I don't think they know what's going to happen with the next DC movies, to be honest with you. But, I mean, like I look at this picture of from him. What is this Hollywood Reporter, right? And I'm like, that's fucking Superman. Like he just captures it so perfectly. I just don't feel like he's ever been given the right material to work with to be Superman.
Like they did with The Witcher, because he's great on The Witcher.
Never saw it. Take your word for it.
I've said it before. He's a really good actor. Go watch.
You should see The Witcher.
What's the spy movie that he's in, based on an old
Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. Yes, which is also funny because he plays an American in that movie, but he is really good in it. And it's like, like that. Yeah,
I liked him in the Mission Impossible movies are corny and fun, but I mean, like I thought he was pretty good as the villain in the Mission Impossible movie.
Yes,
that
infamous
I haven't seen past two. The Mission Impossible.
Two is really bad, so I understand that one. But I don't know. I have a soft spot for him. Like some people feel like I feel about Mission Impossible is the way some people feel about Fast and Furious movies. Like I hate those things, but I get why people like them. I like the Mission Impossibles because they're brainless action. They're not good, don't get me wrong, but they're entertaining for an hour and a half.
I felt I had to watch that one to see the mustache that ruined Justice League. Just
the mustache did not. There was far more problems with Justice League than the mustache. Although the mustache is quite indicative and a great little like totem for what was wrong with Justice League.
That scene in the beginning is egregious. Especially
he looks like the Joker from the '89 Batman.
You've got to CGI this mustache out, yet you're going to do an up close.
Yeah.
Shot. Such a choice. Such a choice.
Oh my God!
They should have pulled a Godzilla on there. Did it at night while he was moving in the background.
I thought you meant crush it and light it on fire.
Well, that could work too. Either way, would have been good. Would have been better.
Hey, we all liked the recut, so we can't. As much as we want to bury Justice League, 4 of us sat here and watched that movie and went, "Oh, it's not bad," you know.
I've seen that movie 4 times.
Yeah.
I enjoy that movie.
Like we were all shocked watching it. We were all like, "Oh, this sucks way less than I thought it was going to suck." So
part of me thinks
I recently watched that.
What'd you think?
Like a week or two ago, I think. Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. I finally got around to watching it, and I'm like, "What movie is this? This is not the Whedon thing that I watched because I remembered very little from the Whedon thing. I guess I blocked it out."
Good choice.
And I watched it, and I watched it, and I'm like, "This is a completely different movie, different tone, different soundtrack, different everything." Like they had their shit together for this one, so I appreciate the Snyder Cut for what it is. But I'm not going to sit there for 4 hours and watch the whole thing again.
No, I watched it once. I'm good.
Yeah, it's still not as good as the Marvel movies anyway. I mean,
no, nor do we expect it to.
Yeah,
you're gonna pull the Snyder Cut out as many times as you pull The Godfather out or Scarface. They're great films, but you don't. Yeah,
when
you don't watch them all the time.
No. When my son gets older, we're gonna I'm introducing him to movies as we go along, and when he's older, I'm gonna say, okay, this is The Godfather, this is Citizen Kane, and I have them, but again, it's like I need to watch them often. That's one of those kind of movies.
The Whedon Cut was actually just recently on like TBS, and I had it on the background for
There's
a little
reason
bit.
It was probably discounted.
And it was funny because it get to the scene at the end where there's Flash is saving the people by pushing the truck, and then Superman's flying the entire building out. And regardless of the impossible physics from that scene, because the building would have just crumbled.
David's Superman and the Flash.
Just the stupid hokiness of that scene.
It was hokey. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, no, agreed.
Like just have that family in the building too. Why do it that way? It was just stupid. So just to have the hokiness of them racing.
Whedon.
I know.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes, I agree. I actually like the idea. Really like the idea of him being Bond. Yeah.
I'm not against it. I'd rather have Idris Elba, but
I do. I like that idea too, but I don't give them the balls to make that choice.
They're not going to.
No, I don't think they're brave enough to do it. That'd be cool. He would be great as James, but I don't think that the people who are running MGM these days have the.
Well, it's also I can't think of the name of the family that
Broccoli.
that own the rights
Broccoli.
of James. Yeah. Like they're not going to allow it.
No, they have final say. Amazon may own the property, but they have final say over the James Bond character and likeness. So the odds of that happening, I don't know if they're like racist or whatever. I don't know them, but if they are, then you're never going to get an African American James Bond.
I don't know if it's so much. I don't think of it so much racist or anything like that. I think it's just trying to stay true to the original idea of Fleming, who wrote
if they stay true to the original Fleming, Bond's a piece of shit.
Amen.
Having read those books, the Bond is not a good dude. Bond is a womanizer and an asshole. And I think they're going for that in the original couple movies. But Sean Connery's so goddamn charming that he changes the nature of the character, so that becomes what James Bond is. Like Fleming didn't even like the Connery James Bond. He liked the money, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't like he was always like, it's not, it's different,
Yeah. Yes.
And that's what it boils down to in the end, guys. It's all money. It's all money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I know Henry Cavill would like a chance to use like his normal English voice. But yeah, the Bond character, I just don't care about. Womanizing is out of style. I just don't think it's really relevant. Your average Shield Avenger spy story is better than the best Bond story out there to me. That's just what it is.
That's true. Like the whole theme of his character is outdated. Really
Captain
right.
Britain is too small. It's just too small for Henry Cavill, particularly when he's Superman. So if he's going to come into the MCU,
Hyperion.
Yes, I was going to say. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No. Cyclops. He needs to be Cyclops. Now he won't get to
his face is too big.
No. I'm telling you, go put a red visor over his eyes. I'm telling you, it'll work. But
Sentry, the obvious choice.
Dave.
Yeah. Oh, come on. He'll never. They can never put him in the
There's
MCU.
no. Sentry just wouldn't work in the MCU.
Not unless Miss Marvel is going to somehow keep him at bay. But on top of that, Henry Cavill, I don't need him using his English accent because that's going to make him more sexy than he already is, right?
And I can't handle that much sexy in one man.
Well, I already have to sit there and watch. I watched The Witcher, and with my wife, and I already have to sit there and know that she's anticipating the next Henry Cavill butt scene. So I don't
just take advantage of that.
I don't need the English accent on top of that.
No, you gotta steer to that skid, my man.
So
you're ready to go. It's gotta get. That's like a positive, brother.
So JD, you want to take advantage of Henry Cavill's ass?
This is sexy.
Is that 15?
No, he's right. Listen,
that is 15, my friend. That is if it gets the wife going, you take advantage of that. I'm comfortable enough in my sexuality to say Henry Cavill is a sexy man. We all agreed Chris Evans had America's ass. I can sit there and say, yes, Henry Cavill is a sexy man. That is an episode title, my friend.
Henry Cavill, sexy boy.
Yes. There you go, Don.
You hear that, Dave? You got to start. You got to start using an English accent at the gym, brother.
No, I don't need to do that.
I would need a video camera at the LA Fitness in Philadelphia to see that in action. Because
no.
Life.
Hold on.
Security camera.
I think it sounds to me like Don needs to start using a British accent at home.
Yeah. Well, actually,
whatever floats the boat, man.
And my wife has revealed that she likes like the Winter Soldier. She likes Sebastian Stan with his Winter Soldier long hair. That's what she's like really into right now. So I might actually do it, which is the opposite of what JD just did. You had it.
My wife was so sick of my long hair the day after Halloween.
Really?
She goes, "You're going to cut that now, right?" Like it could not happen soon enough. When I told her, because I made my bet with the kid after state. And then she's like, "You're gonna cut that, right?" I said, "Oh, I'm gonna do Halloween. I'm gonna be Sting for Halloween." And she went, "Fine. You're donating it too, right?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm donating the hair. Fine. It's for a good cause." And the second, like November 1, she was like, "All right, let's go. Book an appointment. Get a haircut." So yeah, not a fan of the long hair. I thought I looked good, but whatever.
Yes, and I think John needs a dialect coach.
Why?
I think if you feign an Eastern European accent, women might feel sorry for you. All right.
Oh, please give me love now.
Yeah, you're from Latveria, John. That might
there you go.
You know, I was gonna go into that because you knew. Yeah. No.
Oh, he's done it before.
Oh, no,
really?
No.
I was like, "Whoa, there's a story here that I need to hear."
I'm from Latveria. What is Me Too? I've not heard of Me Too. Come give me a kiss.
Where are all the women?
I have come from far away to find out the American cream pie. Yeah.
I come all the way from Latveria. We have sex now.
Okay, Borat.
Und ja.
You only say those kinds of things when Rudy Giuliani is around, actually.
Movie to talk about tonight.
Yes, we do.
Superman 3.
On that note, let's take our last commercial break, and we'll compose ourselves so we can have a serious conversation about Superman 3. We'll be right back.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Boys and girls, we are back. I think they've composed themselves, but
I still need a towel.
Based on
16.
That's what she said. Yep.
Based on our conversation last week, and I don't even remember how we got into it, we talked about one of the greatest superhero movies starting a franchise, ending with one of the worst superhero movies ending a franchise.
Two of the worst superhero movies in a franchise. This is the better of the two.
This is the better of the two. And of course, we're talking about Superman 3. And so a little bit before we get into it, I looked at a couple of things, and it's funny. So Superman 1 made in 1978 made $300 million at the box office.
Is that adjusted for inflation, or is that what it made actually?
You know what? That might be adjusted for inflation. This is on Wikipedia.
Gotta be.
Because inflation, it's bad.
It's still a lot, though. I mean, especially considering the price of a ticket in 1978 and all.
Of course, Superman 2 in 1980 made $190 million. Both of them had like around a $50 million budget. Superman 3 had a $39 million budget and only made $80 million at the box office. So that tells you the kind of drop off they had by the time they got to the third movie. Yeah. So I'm not even going to do spoiler stuff because this movie is...
It's 38 years old. We don't have to worry about spoilers.
Exactly. If you haven't seen
It's
Superman
older than
3
me.
and you're listening to this podcast, I
wish
know.
I could say that. It is not older than me.
Have you heard what the original premise for this movie was?
Go ahead, John. I have not heard what you said, but I have ideas for what this could have been based on what we saw.
It was going to be Superman and Supergirl. They were going to kiss during the movie. It was going to involve Brainiac and Ms. Liz Pitlick. They were all going to be shoehorned in there. It was going to start with Supergirl escaping the zone and finding Brainiac, and Brainiac actually bringing her up as a daughter and then falling in love with her. It's crazy.
That actually kind of happened. That's actually kind of based in comics because Brainiac 5 and Supergirl that's a thing. Like that's a comics couple. So I kind of get where that comes from. This movie really feels like, and I've read this too, but there was going to be Bizarro and Brainiac. And those are both there, right? Like you can see what should have been Bizarro and what could have been Brainiac.
Well, the Brainiac, they left the computer in.
Yeah. And then her at the end is clearly the 1980s Brainiac.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's when we had Robo Brainiac running around.
And then what was it? Christopher Reeve only came back to this movie after they got rid of most of that script. And then he decided he didn't want to have anything to do with the Lesters anymore, I guess. The guys are, and that's what, and that's why Supergirl became a solo movie, because he was supposed to be in that one. So this one was going to be batshit insane. I'm surprised there's no giant spider involved in the original script, but
that's a John Peters classic.
I know, but it's like, it's that crazy, right? So, but yeah, that was the original script, and it kept getting pared down, and you can see some of the writers. I didn't look up the writers. The writers,
it's the Newmans, same people that worked on the first movie, but there was a lot of people that worked on that first movie.
Yeah, but they had something of a problem. They didn't. There was a lot of stuff involved in this movie, or a lot of writing that suggested there was problems with substance abuse and stuff. Like they were trying to highlight substance abuse.
So
what'd you say, Don?
I said you ain't lying. There's obvious signs of substance abuse in the making of this movie.
All that cocaine on the roof of the building.
Yeah.
Right. So little did you know.
So the funny thing is,
that's how you got Richard Pryor.
No, you know what? Richard Pryor came in because he was having an affair with Margot Kidder.
A lot of drugs.
That's hilarious.
I heard another thing about Pryor coming in on this movie, though. He was doing a skit at the time called Super N-Word.
Yeah, it was because of that he got.
Yeah.
And then he went on it was like Carson or something like that. And he said he would love to be in a Superman movie. And he was just joking around. And then they actually called him for the role. So he took it. I mean, payday, cocaine, whatever.
So the funny thing is, speaking of Pryor, I do remember when this movie came out, and that being like the marketing push that Richard Pryor is in this movie.
And
this is the Richard Pryor movie.
Yeah, 100%. It's a Richard Pryor movie, but he's like he's one of the biggest stars in the world in 1983 when this comes out. Like he's huge.
But
this is an insult to him. I love Richard Pryor.
100%. This movie's dog shit.
But yeah, somehow they said, that black guy that said the N-word and fuck all the time. Let's put him in a Superman movie, match made in heaven.
But yeah, and that's
what I said before. These executives, they don't think like normal people. They think that they still do stuff. They up until recently did things like this. These stunt castings. I mean, he's in a completely different movie for the most part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah.
So it made me wonder too, like rewatching this movie, because I don't, as we said earlier, like you can't go home again. But the first 5 minutes of this movie is a slapstick comedy, big time.
The worst credits ever.
It's Buster Keaton.
Yeah.
Yeah, like big time, and it's like. I'm like, oh wow, that's right. They really steered into the comedy in this movie.
They made it one big Rube Goldberg, the whole opening credits.
But as I said, Buster Keaton. It's like a Buster Keaton silent movie. But that's the kind of shit that Lester was putting into Superman 2. Like if you watch the Donner cut, which really isn't it's more of an experiment than anything else. But I mean, like Donner wasn't interested in like the slapstick stuff, but Richard Lester was throwing all that stuff into the second movie, and they steer into it real heavy in this third one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's.
And yet there were parts of this movie that were like the fight between him and between Superman and Clark Kent. That was pretty brutal, actually, right? And there wasn't any real slapstick in that. And there were other parts of this movie that were actually, it's kind of weird. It was almost like Joss Whedon Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, where you're watching it and you're getting schizophrenia because one scene is deep and has a lot of messages behind it and it's played seriously, and the next scene is, oh, Richard Pryor, okay, what happened?
I'm going to give you a quick hot take. As bad as this movie is, I do think there's actually a good movie in there.
Yes.
Right? Because there's that first scene where he's Superman, that chemical fire, right? That whole that chemical plant. That's a good scene. That is Superman. That is Superman trying to do the impossible and saving a bunch of people's lives from certain doom and using his super ability. Like that was.
Forget the tensile strength of ice and being able to hold it by one edge, but
it doesn't matter. It's Superman. That's what I'm saying. It's about doing the impossible. That's what Superman's about. And I think that's actually one of the best scenes in all the Christopher Reeve movies, as far as him just going out and being Superman. Right. I really like that stuff. I really like the junkyard fight too. It's a bit Tyler Durden, right? Like I imagine if people were actually watching, like, what the hell is he actually doing? If you were to be watching Superman, is he punching himself in the face at the moment? Like, how would this look to a normal person? But like
my wife had the displeasure of watching this movie with me for some reason, and that was her exact thing. Woman. Why is Superman punching himself?
Yeah, I mean, like it's metaphor, it's heavy metaphor, but actually, like if you take out like the sequence, like you take the reasoning, it's good. I mean, I like it.
It's funny. I feel like it's a very comic booky thing that they do, but they don't explain it at all. They just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
The dressing around that scene did not do the scene itself justice.
No, because they didn't have really the money to do it. And like it's basically Superman Red, Superman Blue, right? Like there's a lot of comic book elements in this movie that they kind of like tease and play with, but they don't want to like actually commit to it. Like this is essentially a Bizarro scene or a Superman Red, Superman Blue scene, but they don't like really commit to it. So it comes off kind of weird.
The Lesters did a lot of crap to this movie. Like getting rid of Margot Kidder.
She didn't want to be in the movie.
Well, it was also that they were saying her story was done, and they didn't want her in the movie either.
Yeah, I always thought that was weird. She's at the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie, and that's it. And they set up this new love story with Lana Lang, and that never gets paid off either. So
no, it gives her a wedding ring, but it doesn't really go anywhere with it. Like it's like I said, this feels like draft 3. Like I feel like it wasn't like all put together, but there's like elements of this movie that I think are pretty good. Like Annette O'Toole's great in it.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like there's also stuff she's fantastic. She's good now. She's good in everything she does. I like the idea behind the Smallville stuff. The execution of everything though is really weird. Like there's ideas, they're trying stuff, but like the execution is off with everything. And that clearly, right, that Robert Vaughn character is clearly supposed to be Hackman, but Hackman's like, I don't want to do it.
Yes.
Yeah. He's the same guy. He's the exact same. It's the exact same thing.
And then
Lex Luthor's a lot more capable. That guy just is like
Hackman's
throwing shit at the wall.
Well, yeah, fair, but that's like, okay, fair, I get what you're saying. But I mean, like, that's clearly supposed to be Luthor. Like when they wrote that script,
as it should be. It makes no sense that it's not.
Yeah, 100%.
That's one of my biggest complaints.
Yeah, you're telling me there's two guys exactly like Lex Luthor running around Metropolis? Doesn't work.
Well, they had the Lorelei, the psychic massage therapist or whatever, who playing for laughs, like she's
secretly
really
a genius,
super smart. Yeah,
she has no use in this movie. I couldn't figure that out at all.
Oh, she had a use, all right. She had a use.
That's true. Yeah.
But guess what?
Superman had a use for her.
Yeah, Superman had a big use for her. Don't worry about it.
Is that the first and only time Superman? Well, not only. We've seen it a couple times actually, but that is he did. He porked Lois Lane too. I forgot. Never mind.
Yeah.
But it's just remarkable how like all these people are super unattractive. I remember being like a kid in the 80s and 90s and making fun of people in bell bottoms and stuff. But now I'm looking at all the bouffant hairdos.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah.
I don't know how these people are considered pretty back in the 80s.
I'm sorry, Annette O'Toole.
Annette O'Toole's gorgeous. I will.
God,
I'll fight you on that one.
And Margot Kidder is not any slouch herself. I mean,
I don't think in this movie, because Margot Kidder goes through a rough spot, and I think in this movie she's clearly starting to go through it.
You can see it from, you can actually see it from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, because in the beginning of the movie she does it at the end of the movie. You know, she's got a fake tan.
John, well, that's they
she was down in South America.
Well, I know, but
she won a little bingo.
She filmed those together. Like they filmed those things together. Like when you shoot movies out of sequence, so they had that setup. So she did her couple days on the movie and was done. But she clearly has
maybe
skin.
It was just
she has a spray tan or something like that.
Maybe it was just the fact that they did a close up on her and she did look kind of tired.
She didn't look very good. Yeah, she looked haggard. Her teeth don't look very good. Like she doesn't. She's starting to look a little bit rougher. My wife said the similar thing where we're watching and she's like, "Man, the '70s were so ugly." Like, yeah, like because everything's all brown and nasty. Like just
brown.
With, like,
the cars are square.
Yeah.
In the first 5 minutes, you see people smoking inside right next to each other.
Yeah, my kid was like, "What is going on?"
Oh, it was the KFC placement and the Marlboro.
The product placement. Oh my God!
There's a reason for the product placement.
I did not notice that as a kid.
Elucidate.
Yeah, where they filmed in Canada, I think it was Alberta. That was the home of the first ever KFC in Canada, so they were trying to like get that in there.
Hit that plug in. Number 1 KFC Canada. That's
It's
hilariously awesome. I don't know. Like I said, there's parts of this that I think actually have some heart. Like I think that Christopher Reeve and Annette O'Toole actually have some pretty good chemistry.
Yeah.
It's the placement of it is weird because like there's class of 65, so they would be like almost 40, and they're clearly not that old in this movie. It was just
that's the other thing.
To be kind of weird.
That's the other thing. They say that class of 65, and how long did he say it had been since he'd been back to Smallville? I think he says 15 years.
Yeah.
So that would make it 1980, not 1984.
That's probably when the script was written then.
Yeah.
But also nobody has like I don't know, people have 15-year reunions. I don't know. I never went to my high school reunion, so I don't
usually
know
they're on 10-year.
Usually it's not a 10-year. But again, like it feels really old, right? And they also danced to Earth Angel, which I got to crack.
Yeah, which was 1954.
Oh my God. I could not get past the fact that in this world, and I get it, I remember back in the 80s, where like no one understood computers.
Oh yeah, I know what you're going with. Yeah.
Oh, don't even talk to me about that.
You've got these rare few people that can make computers do whatever. They hire them immediately. So no one seems to understand it, the computers, except for this rare few, yet computers control everything. That makes
Here's another
before the internet.
Here's another thing. You got Richard Pryor in the unemployment line eating up his 36 weeks of unemployment, and then they cut him off, and then he goes and gets a job at a computer. Okay, he got an entry-level position, but he's doing all kinds of hacky shit in his first like 2-3 days there. Yeah. But he knows how to do it.
That's not how computer geniuses work. That's not how computers worked back then.
And he saw the job on a matchbook. He saw the job. Have you ever seen a computer programming job posted on a matchbook?
No, that was the school that he went to, the training course.
Right. I get you.
The same thing. Yeah.
That goes back to what JD said. Richard Pryor is in a completely different movie.
Oh yeah, totally. Especially early on.
Absolutely.
Like he's doing,
and then later in the movie, he goes and builds a supercomputer. Did you all see the blueprints for that? It was like a cigarette wrapper and a bunch of other stuff.
Some camels. Oddly enough, I smoke camels. That was
camels.
Funny.
That was a product placement. The other one.
Yeah.
The last part of kryptonite is tar, apparently.
That may be why. Oh only the kryptonite that turns him into a dick. Yeah. Which is actually what this movie did well. It did show you, like JD's saying, it showed you, hey, that's Superman. Even though that first thing with the car flooding because the fire hydrant poked
makes no sense.
Oh my God. And they make fun of the blind guy caused all the problem. Like, oh my God, totally insensitive. Like, this is total whitewash movie. But anyway, so they did a good job showing that contrast. They truly did. They like, you got it, and my kids knew. They're like, "Oh, Superman's not acting like Superman." Like, yeah, no, he's not. Like, they did a good job selling that, so I'll give them that much.
But that was the beginning of the movie. That was the very opening credits of the movie. So he hadn't even been introduced to that kryptonite yet.
No, he's completely aloof in that. Like the world is literally going to pieces around him, and like these flaming penguins running around, and he's just kind of like in a daze. Yeah, it's weird. Like I said, I feel like there's the nuts and like the Superman breakdown. I really feel like they could have motivated that. Like maybe something is actually going on with Clark Kent, and like you could have actually done some character. So I think Christopher Reeve does a pretty good job playing dickhead Superman, but I don't feel like I feel like we could have done something character wise there.
What?
Because he's got to struggle. Like he's trying to. It's really like I said, metaphor. You're trying to overcome, like trying to overcome yourself. Like there's something there, but I feel like they could have given us a little more meat on the bone. You could still use the fake kryptonite, but like as far for like the whole the allegory shit. But as far as just the actual character of Superman, I wish there was a little more there.
Well, you ran into two icebergs though. One was Lester, and the other one was the 1970s, early 1980s.
I agree.
The movie going public is just not as sophisticated as we are now.
That's not true. That is not true, because you're talking about coming out the 1970s when you're getting some of the most thoughtful, introspective movies with tough guys. You're talking about the era of the Deer Hunter.
Well, you're only but you're only starting to.
And you're coming off it. It's as far as comic book, to the 80s, man. This
as far as comic book and science fiction, like you only just had Alien, and that blew people's minds, right? And then The Thing, and that movement was just starting where they could say you didn't have to have slapstick. Unfortunately, Lester was in that whole thing where this is the guy that directed Hard Day's Night, like, and you can see that in this movie, and the Superman 2 for that, man. Like I said, I don't know if the nuts and bolts are there to make a good movie, but at least the bolts. Like, I mean, there's stuff there that could have been a good movie, and it wasn't. But this is clearly we've written by people that don't understand computers and are absolutely terrified by machines, because they have that thing in Perry White's office too, where all the machines like never work right, and people are scared. Like that's the moral of this movie: is be scared of machines. Yeah. Machines are here to hurt you. They're scary. Well, they were just prophesizing Facebook, so
maybe they weren't wrong in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, computers are scary.
Very, especially when they have the graphics of an Atari 5200.
Oh, that's right. The Superman Atari 5200 game.
Was that what they were? Was that the original Superman game that they were doing?
No, it wasn't. That was better than the original Superman game that got dropped. They didn't even finish developing it because it was so bad. But
they made a Superman
part of it.
Yeah, they made a Superman 3 game for the Atari that they were going to release that was in the movie, but then they just never finished it because the movie flopped. So that's why we never got it.
And it was for the 5200, right? Not the 26.
No, not the successful one.
Yeah.
But we would have had a Superman 3 game, maybe had the movie been a little bit more successful.
And then we've been a little bit better. Like that's the thing with Richard Donner. Richard Donner gave his there's like actual emotions. There's actual people like dealing with stuff there, and they treat the material for 1978. They treat the material seriously.
Yeah.
You know?
And it just isn't a Superman movie to me.
But there's parts of it. There's like parts of it that are very Superman.
Yeah, but it's like there's parts of Batman.
Yeah, you're
there's
right.
Parts of Batman in Scooby-Doo and Batman. Like that's what this was to me. This was like Scooby-Doo and Batman. It's Richard Pryor and Superman.
Yeah, very much.
Or if like today, can you imagine if they made like Kevin Hart, Jimmy Olsen, the new Superman movies? Like that's what it would. That's what this would be. Or Dave Chappelle as Jimmy Olsen or whatever. Dave Chappelle with Iron Man.
They wanted Chris Rock in the Tim Burton one, the Superman Lives.
Oh my God,
that's what exactly.
Yeah, no,
Superman. I'm Chris Rock.
A bit of choice.
I do think though. Yeah, there's a couple of scenes that you can't say redeem the movie, but are salvageable.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, like the majority, it's just
and that's salvageable as in Superman 2 cuts, because they took scenes that were left over from Superman 2 and threw them into this movie.
There's the flying, some of those flying shots are right out of Superman 1. Oh, and the soundtrack, they did. Giorgio Moroder did it, and he cribbed just enough of John Williams stuff to get around having to pay royalties on it. Like,
my wife thought it was the Star Wars scene, and she's right. Part of it is exactly the Star Wars scene or Star Wars music from John Williams, but it's just slightly different.
Well, it's John Williams did the original scene one too.
Yeah.
He doesn't do this one. It's Giorgio Moroder, him of the Scarface and Midnight Express, who's actually really good. But this soundtrack is so like it just the whole movie's like that. The whole movie feels like so half-assed.
Yes, that's what I was gonna get at too, because like with the Richard Pryor thing, it's like it doesn't even make sense, even for 1983 or 84. It's like he's doing all this stuff, but at the same time, he's acting like, I don't know how I'm doing, and I'm just doing it, and they keep calling him a genius, but he does no idea what he's doing
because they didn't know how to write it. You know,
then nobody did. Like for the longest time, no.
Yeah,
like,
the
even now,
pseudoscience is shitty. This is the shittiest pseudoscience I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, just watch any NCIS, and every time they say, "Oh, could you enhance that picture?" It's like zoom and enhance cliche.
Right.
It's like that computers don't work like that. You can't create pixels out of thin air. So it's but back then, you might as well been talking about like, this is alien technology or something.
Well, how does a guy who knows, like, again, the stealing the fractions of a dollar thing it's a genius concept for the wrong movie, better utilized in Office Space.
Yes.
But it's a great like theft movie concept. And like, how does that a guy who can figure that out? How do they figure, this guy should be able to hack into a satellite and turn it into a weather machine and then use it to find kryptonite in space? It's like these leaps of logic are astounding.
Yeah. It's a weather monitoring satellite that can then be somehow modified by no physical manipulation into a weather making satellite.
It feels like computers in the early 80s were the nanobots of movies today.
Kind of, yeah.
Sure.
Okay, well, what does this movie come up? It's like, again, this all kinds of like zero originality. So this movie comes off the heels of War Games, right?
Yeah.
No, War Games was after, right?
No, I think it was early. I think War Games is 82 and this is 83.
And Terminator was 1985. So
84 the next year.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, we're right in there. So I mean, like, people are scared of machinery, especially when like
War Games was 83.
So it's the same time. So same. They're so it's a cultural zeitgeist thing, right? Where people are scared of these machines and don't understand literally, and it works. Like that's the things people don't bitch about. It turns Vera into a monster at the end of it.
That was one of the scenes that was kind of scary.
Yeah, I remember being a little kid watching that movie.
That's why I never came back to it.
Me too.
You mentioned it last week, and I'm like, he's so right. That was so terrifying as a kid. I never came back to this movie, probably because of that.
It didn't, and I watched it with Andy, and he was like, "Oh, that's cool." And he didn't. It did nothing to scare him.
Well, because nowadays it's like
my daughter's
5. He has no idea what's what.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, same. I was disappointed because I remember it being super scary when I was a kid, and it's still kind of a cool concept, but.
Well,
again, executed.
Then Star Trek picked it up for the Borg,
and executed that quite well. The Borg, awesome.
Yeah. I also didn't like. It's funny you're talking about that. The scenes at the end with the computer, who's Brainiac, I guess, in some way. Brainiac-ish, but like we saw Superman
only if you get within 5 feet. If you stay within the 5 feet radius, you're good to go.
Unless you're on the inside,
right?
We saw Superman freeze a lake and carry it over to put out a fire earlier in the movie. And then we saw him get trapped by wires wrapping around him.
To be fair, he
by
was
a stationary computer.
He was doused in kryptonite. So he
for a while.
Yes, and he had not hit the sun's yellow rays. So he is not.
That was after he went out to get the acid and came back.
Still recovering. Oh, and the acid looks just like. Did you also notice the acid looks just like the slime from Ghostbusters 2?
It's probably the same effect, my guess.
I guarantee you.
Why did he have to go and get acid
those in the same weekend? Because
Why
that's an
didn't he just
80s thing.
circuit boards?
Heat ray, his heat
because
vision.
they set up Chekhov's gun.
heat vision, ice breath, shit, man.
They set up
Chekhov's gun.
They set up Chekhov's gun earlier in the movie and had to deliver on it. We can't have this acid blow up. Oh, I have this idea to make the acid.
You mean how the fire was in the acid room and the next scene it's not there anymore?
Yes, exactly what I mean.
Yes, because water goes through
buildings.
That's right.
Fires.
That's right.
Speaking of the heat vision, they actually got his heat vision right in this one, whereas normally in an old movie like that, I expect them to do the whole, hey, I hold up this mirror and it reflects his vision. But when he focused,
that's like my favorite shot in the whole movie.
I know, and I don't know
really
if they got it right because they were trying to do, his image being warped.
Yeah,
and
that's what
doing that thing.
It's not even metaphor. It's like completely on the nose. Like there's not a lot of art going on in that. But I did like it. I did like the way it looked. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
So,
they got the X-ray vision right too. When he X-rayed Jimmy Olsen's leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. and
Jimmy Olsen does the dumbest fucking thing that you could ever do.
Yeah, but Jimmy Olsen's fucking dumb. So I mean that works okay. Like the history of Jimmy Olsen is him doing stupid fucking shit and Superman being like, "What the fuck, kid? Why do you keep getting in this stupid shit?"
Why do you think Superman tagged him with a transmitter?
Because he knows Jimmy Olsen is like a child and can't be left to his own devices. Actually, that's like I said, that's actually my favorite scene in the whole movie. I mean, again, the logic kind of falls apart, but it is Superman actually being like Superman, which is like more than I thought he did in the Man of Steel. So I actually enjoyed that movie.
That's true. That's very true. And the actor who plays Jimmy Olsen, how old is he by the time we get to this movie?
He's 2 years older than he was in Back to the Future, where he played a guy working at Burger King. So
in 1955.
Yes. So he doesn't age.
Mark McClure, right?
Mark McClure, yeah.
Yeah, he was born in 1957. So it's like
27.
No.
26.
Give up logic. There is no logic.
I'm about to say, y'all really sitting here trying to figure out a fictional character's age from a shitty movie.
No, I'm just saying,
Yes,
like,
this is what we do on Superhero Speak.
I was trying to think.
We argue the minutia.
I was trying to think, like, he's not a kid at all by this point. Like, but everyone's still calling him a kid. You know, it's like, yeah.
I mean, like, that's the character. That's the problem with making these movies is you can't keep him in the archetype forever, you know?
Right.
So you got people that are way too old. Like I'm saying, Superman's supposed to be in his mid to late 30s in this. Again, that seems too old for me for this story, but whatever.
Weird factoid.
Oh, you're right, man.
Weird factoid. McClure was actually in Justice League.
Who was he?
Officer Ben Sadowski, and he was in Zack Snyder's Justice League as Jerry. I don't know how. Okay. Justice League 2017. Yeah, that was the original.
That's the Whedon one.
That's the Whedon one. Yeah, he was Officer Ben Sadowski in there, and in Zack Snyder's, he was Jerry, whoever the hell Jerry was. So
is Jimmy Olsen a mercenary in that movie, or no? That was Batman v Superman.
Batman versus Superman. Jimmy Olsen.
What a dumb fucking movie.
Yeah. Okay, no, he's officer. He's two cops in the Snyder cut.
He's twins.
He's Sardisky and Jerry. So to me, that means he was supposed to be the same guy, and they called him something different in the Snyder cut. And then
that could be his.
Or you can
name,
just write it off that DC doesn't make a goddamn lick of sense. Don't put any thought into their bullshit and just move
make
on.
a Suicide Squad movie, or at least the last Suicide Squad movie. But yeah,
I like.
Suicide
Squad movie.
No, so do I. Yeah, it's great.
It was ludicrous.
Who was the guy who wrote?
All names are letters, dickhead. That's my favorite joke.
Who wrote it? Oh, I don't even. Oh, it was Gunn. Gunn wrote it.
Yeah, so no wonder it made sense and was
it made sense for being as far as being ludicrous goes.
Yeah, but it was cool, and it was a good movie. That's why
the ballsy move to kill half the characters within 5 minutes. But I appreciate.
I don't think it is ballsy. I think it's on brand for the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree, but just not for your normal normie.
Yeah, fair.
I'm sorry if that's derogatory. I'm not trying to be, but normie. You know what I'm talking about.
Fuck those normal people.
Hey, only us normies can use the N-word thing. Oh wait, whoa.
You went there. I did not go there. John does not
let's
speak.
Steer away from that.
Okay.
Speak. That was.
I'm a geek anyway.
That was you.
The opinions expressed by John do not necessarily reflect those of Superhero Speak.
See, now if I had my alcohol, I would not have made that mistake.
So you're blaming it on not being drunk.
Yes.
Let's say that's usually the opposite there.
That's an interesting defense you've chosen there, my friend. If I was drunk,
it's okay,
I never
John.
would.
It's okay. I had a black president. It's fine.
Oh. All right. So moving on. Very quickly.
So Superman.
And maybe
He's gonna kill me.
What else can you say about this movie except it was just kind of really meh and the start of the.
I definitely want to do 4. I definitely want to come back because
I will say
I think it'll make
I
us
watched them both.
Oh, you did watch?
I literally
4.
spent my Saturday night. The fuck is wrong with me?
Yeah, for real.
Dude, why would you do that to yourself?
On purpose.
Watching these back to back.
Which one's
and
worse?
You guys, I'm going to say 3. I'm going to tell you.
Tell me why.
Because Superman 4: Quest for Peace is actually a good Superman comic booky movie until you get to the 3rd act. Until you get to him and Nuclear Man actually fighting, it is actually a better Superman comic book movie within the first 15 minutes, because it goes back. You get to hear a little bit more about Krypton. You could come in and watch Superman 4, not know anything, and you know Superman. You know what he's about.
Yeah, that's fair.
This one, I mean, again, it does do a good contrast of good Superman versus dickhead Superman. But if you watch Superman 3, you could miss the fact that he's not even from this planet.
But the budget for 4 was like, I mean, the movie itself played.
It's a
hardly like
Globus movie.
When they were showing them using the hair to create the clone, it's like they were doing it in like a warehouse. They blacked out the back because they didn't have any budget to do like a real lab. Whereas in this, at least the computer looked cool at the end. I mean, the whole set.
Can you believe they brought Hackman back with that budget? Like the whole thing must have gone.
He was the budget.
He must have. There's no money in that movie, and there's half of that movie's on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother Nuclear Man that they never got to.
I can't wait to talk about that movie because I got a lot.
Right. A little preview for the next one.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. You want to do final thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, let's do final thoughts.
Okay.
You can start, JD.
Oh, okay, cool. I think this movie is better than I thought it was going. There's things about it I legitimately enjoy and like a lot. But unfortunately, it's like 10% of the movie. But I really like that 10%. The other 90 it's unwatchable in most cases. Like, I think that there is a good movie somewhere here that they just didn't find, right? Like, because they had such success in the first one, but didn't understand why they had success. Yeah. So it's like there's elements of this that I really like. I really like that first the warehouse fire, the chemical plant fire. I like the Superman fight. I think Christopher Reeve is really good in this. I think Annette O'Toole is good in this. But the sum of the parts doesn't make up for it. Like, it just doesn't work. It's just not a good movie. Richard Pryor, it was an interesting idea that if done today would have been executed 100% better. But it felt like they were trying to make a Richard Pryor movie. It felt like when John was talking the other week about how when New Line was looking for scripts, they go, oh, okay, we'll buy this and stick Pinhead in it, right? This is what that feels like. It feels like they had this like heist movie thing, and they're like, you know what this needs? Superman. Yeah. Get Richard Pryor. Like, this is like when you look back on it, you say Richard Pryor was in a Superman movie. How the fuck did that happen? Like, it shouldn't have. It's bizarre, but I do like some parts of it.
Okay. How about you, Ray?
Oh boy. How do I sum up Superman 3? Summing up Superman 3, I think the odds of me ever watching this again as not a joke or anything like that, you got a better chance of me pissing razors. It's not going to happen. I will never watch this garbage ever again. Everything from cinematography to just the cheapness, the stealing of music, the Superman flying around from part 1, scenes left over from part 2, Richard Pryor just being a what the fuck general. Do you know what people do? You know, they sit on their ass on their plastic chairs. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who wrote this? Like, what drug-induced motherfucker wrote this? I just couldn't wrap my head around any theme around the movie. There was one good thing, and that was the junkyard fight. And that's because that was actually, Superman being Superman, although he was fighting himself. I guess that was his inner demons or whatever. But yeah, all logic in this movie is out the window. The only thing I actually remembered prior to watching it today was the cocaine mountain, the ski slope, and that was it.
Mount Cocaine.
I remember seeing that as a kid going, wow, I wish I had that, but I don't wish.
The street value of this is?
Yeah. Even at the bottom of it, man. It's stepped on. But,
he skied off Mount Cocaine and landed on the ground and was okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He Batman Dark Knighted it. Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
But overall, this is just, wow, this is something. I don't even have words really for it, honestly. It's just, I'm going to sear it out of my brain the same way I do Blade 3. I'm just going to just burn it out. It doesn't exist. And I'm just going to move on with my life.
All right.
But bring me back for part 4. I'd love to hear it.
I'd like to. Yeah, that's definite.
All right, John, what about you? Your final thoughts?
I pretty much agree with both of what they just said.
You're going to piss razors?
Yeah. No.
There's a cream for that.
First, ow. And,
that's what she said.
Dave's
16.
got a prescription.
Oh, 17.
So, yeah, it is better than I remember, but not good enough by any measure for me to ever really want to watch it again.
That is a bold statement.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just, it's I don't know. It's a vehicle for Richard Pryor. It wasn't really a Superman movie. Superman was just tacked on in the background. There are some parts of it that would have made a really good movie had they gone in a better way. But once again, they put too much slapstick in it. They didn't take it seriously. And I don't know if it's a measure of the time or because of the director who, pretty much ruined what Donner was trying to do the first two. So I don't know. It's not anything good enough for anybody to really, even for historical purposes. Like it's not bad enough to watch for the yucks, right? For the lulls. It's not even like The Room quality where you could watch it because it's just that bad. It's just really too meh to even have on in the background. So
okay, Don.
Ray and John, basically saying the chances of them watching this ever again, 0%. I will absolutely echo that sentiment. If I had to choose between watching this movie and eating dog poop that has been covered in cat puke, I would eat that before I watch this movie again. And it's because I'm actually a big fan of Richard Pryor. And John just said it. There's no yucks in the movie. This movie has Richard Pryor, and there's no yucks like that. There
was one yuck.
You are correct. Yes, he did have a line, and I can't even remember right now that he said something, and I did laugh. And that's probably because this movie is also a window into the 1980s and just how pompous and fucking stupid just 80s white people were. I'm sorry. I look at this and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. So yeah, this is horrible. I hated this movie. I only liked the contrast between the two Supermans, the fight in the junkyard. Outside of that, Superman almost gets beat up by a stationary computer that was somehow built by Richard Pryor.
Who doesn't know anything about computers?
Yeah, just no, sir. No, thank you. Never again.
If he knew so much about computers, why didn't he just take the unemployment, hack in, and then extend it?
Or if he was so smart, because at first the villain guy, he's like, oh, this guy I can't trace him. But wait a minute, he just sent a check to himself and his name. Like, oh, you need him to roll up on the Lamborghini before you finally put two and two. Anyway, fuck this movie. I'm sorry.
It wasn't a Lamborghini. I think it was a Ferrari.
You could be right. I'm not a car guy.
It was a Ferrari 301. I think it was from Miami Vice.
Okay.
Sure. Yes. No. I totally agree with that sentiment, Don. It's like, wait a minute. He paid himself. He didn't hide it. He didn't transfer it to another account or something. He just gave himself a check that was an expense, and nobody went, this is really high for an expense check. Like, what the hell's going on here? Before they issued it.
Gotta launder that shit, man. Much like in Office Space, they were very bad at crime.
Yes, but they even said, "Oh, we'll never catch him unless he does something stupid." I was like, "What the hell?" All right, so I'm going to say I disagree with the "I'm never going to watch it again" sentiment, because in the sense of it's Saturday afternoon, I'm not doing anything at home, and it's on TV, and there's nothing else going on. I'll probably put it on in the background.
So if it's that or the Muppet Babies, you're going to turn this on? Is that what you're saying?
The Muppet Baby. Whoa! That will not tell your Muppet Baby.
Don't knock on the Muppets.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I said there was nothing else on.
I'd rather watch nothing.
There's always something else on better than this.
Yeah, there's in this day and age.
If we were hit by an EMP and all he had was a VHS player and Superman 3. And what else?
And the Star Wars Holiday Special.
There you go. Which one?
I'd watch that holiday special over and over again.
Because that's bad enough to watch again.
That's fun bad.
Yes.
I did a commentary on that. It was bad.
It's bad.
Bad.
Real bad. It's real bad. But you can laugh at that.
I'd watch the entire series of Paw Patrol before I'd watch this again.
So I can honestly say I've done that.
I weirdly enjoy B. Arthur's part in that Star Wars special.
Because B. Arthur is great. Let's be real.
Okay.
So I would rather watch a Serbian film 24 hours on loop, watch this one time ever again.
Turkish Star Wars.
There's definitely
a Turkish Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I gotta watch
There's
that.
There's a lot of Turkish stuff.
All right. So anyway, as I was saying,
Pull it back on the road, Dave. Pull it back.
I agree with JD in saying there are 10%, give or take, salvageable pieces of this movie. I think that one of my favorite scenes of any Superman movie is the fight between Superman and himself. It made me wonder, though, because who said it tonight? Is it are the people watching it seeing them split and fight each other, or is it like Fight Club? Like, I never thought about it that way before.
That's the first thing I thought. It's like some Tyler Durden stuff. Like, I didn't know. Like, are they watching? Is he literally fighting a version of himself, or
it's more like Jim Carrey and Liar Liar. He's kicking his own ass.
Yeah. That's kind of what. Yeah, that's got to be what it looks like.
See, that would be really cool if they went back and revisited that scene somehow and like showed two versions: one where he's fighting himself and one where he's fighting Clark Kent.
They didn't put that much thought into it.
No, they didn't.
That's the problem.
But yeah, I never thought about that before until you just said it. But yeah, overall, I mean, yeah, Richard Pryor and Christopher Reeve are in two different movies. And I think the thing that shows that the most is the very end of the movie after they defeat the computer with the acid. Saying that out loud, it sounds stupid.
I would have said that it was in a completely different movie when Richard Pryor shows up to that with the security guard and he gets him drunk. And then there's a scene where he's wearing that giant cowboy hat. Like, what the fuck movie is this?
Reminds me of an old movie, Night Shift, I think it was called. Anyway.
Oh, by the way, just one little factoid, another one that I just remembered. There were more scenes in the version of the movie that they showed on TV than there were in the actual movie or the VHS release.
What man?
Yeah, but
what
you can only see those scenes in the UK version. That's the only way you can see that.
What got cut? I'm curious. Do you know? Like, what was removed from this movie?
Never seen it. Never want to see it.
There was a saving a kid in a tree, I think, or something like that, or I don't know. It's like there. I only caught a glimpse of one of the scenes, and I think that was it. Where he just really innocuous stuff, like for no reason.
So was when he was evil, he put the kid in the tree, and then after he cured himself, he came and took the kid
and
out
then
of the
leaned
tree.
the tree over when he came back.
Hey, am I alone thinking this? But when Superman went evil and he had like the darker, like black on his boots and everything looked darker about him, didn't he look a little bit better than he did throughout the whole movie, being all bright and super colored and all that?
He looked like Brandon Routh, I thought.
Yeah.
No,
I dug it.
No, Superman's supposed to be bright colors.
Okay, Dave, I know you're trying to move on. But okay, I just thought of something that would actually make me watch this movie again. And that's if they made a sequel. No, well, yeah, maybe. The Leaning Tower of Pisa merchant. If they make a movie where he becomes a supervillain because Superman screwed his business twice, I would maybe watch this again in preparation for
Okay, I'm not proud of this. I actually laughed at that scene twice. There's no reason for him to do that, but it did make me kind of laugh because it's such a dickhead move. Like, I'm evil Superman. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna make the Leaning Tower of Pisa straight. What the fuck was that?
So
when he pushed it back, that's the only thing that made me laugh. That was the only laugh I had the entire time. Was just that. It was just a quick giggle, and that was
merchandise.
It's ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous.
So if he came back as a supervillain, what would it be? Like Pizza Boy?
Yeah, Pizza Boy, someone that throws pizzas at Superman laced with kryptonite. I don't know, but it would just be funny if he just dedicated his whole life to.
You're gonna get this beat done in 30 minutes or less.
Right, yeah, his whole thing is his whole life now is to deliver a pizza to Superman with kryptonite, so he eats it and dies for ruining his business twice.
He blew out the Olympic torch too.
Yeah, he did.
What a dick!
And he didn't relight it.
No, he never relit it. He's like, fuck them, fuck the IOC.
I mean, but honestly though, how many times has Superman been a dick in the comics?
That's true.
Especially the older things, putting Lois Lane up in space and pulling the air hose out and things like that. I mean, there's tons of Superman asshole moments. So it just adds to it. Maybe that's the most comic accurate
space. Did he take someone into space this movie, or am I thinking number 4?
That's
he took Lois. Oh, in the movies? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, one of these movies, he took a woman into space, and I'm like, how's she not dead?
It's got to be 4.
I think it is.
Yes,
sorry,
it's
Dave.
4. It is 4. So anyway,
spoiler,
because there's another woman in 4. And she wants to fly with him like he did with Lois in the first one.
Mariel Hemingway.
Yeah, it's the lady's the daughter of the guy that takes over the Daily Planet, and she's actually not a jerk.
Right. So
I'm excited to watch 4 now. This ought to be fun.
That's enough, I think, on Superman 3. I'm done trying to wrap this up. It's wrapped up.
That's what she said.
17.
18.
18.
That's the legal age of consent, Dave.
Hey, free game.
So let's wrap this one up.
19.
19.
You're better host than me, Dave. At this point, I'm like, we're not wrapping shit up. We're going. Good night.
Let's get some. Let's get
Is
some
that 20?
recommendations for our audience. So we'll start with Ray. Give us a recommendation, and again, tell people where they can find your lovely show.
You can find me on Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. If you like the old watch along, the old Mystery Science Theater 3000 vibe, then you can definitely come and check me out. I tend to do things my way, not their way. It's a good time. Come on over to the Twitch channel, 8-Bit Ray. I do a little bit of Apex Legends, and now I'll be doing a little movie streaming from now on. But a lot of fun happening. And my recommendation this week, I didn't really put a lot of thought into this. I'm going to have to look around real quick. Go watch Dragon Ball Abridged. Always watch Dragon Ball Abridged. If you ever need a laugh, you ever had the worst day of your life, go watch Dragon Ball Abridged because it will make everything right. And I'm sure D Square over there can he can to that, man. Most quotable thing ever.
I was watching
Frieza is hilarious.
I was watching DBZA from when they first started. So I saw the whole thing as they were right. So if you're doing a reaction, I got to go to your channel.
And don't forget to follow him at Gorilla Brain Pod on the Twitters.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don?
Well, I definitely recommend you check out the DBZA reactions on our YouTube there, Omega Level Nerds. Outside of that, though, I got to tell you, I recommend going back to seeing the Ghostbusters. My kids love it. And don't get me wrong, it was Halloween. They heard the Ghostbuster theme, and that's what started it all. But those, I don't know, those are in stark contrast to Superman 3 and 4 because those movies are just as old, and they really hold up well. I mean, yeah, a fair bit of womanizing and a little bit of that, but outside of that, just funny movies that hold up and are actually interesting. So go watch Ghostbusters 1 and 2 in preparation for Ghostbusters Afterlife. I would say go ahead and watch the Ghostbusters 2016, but you have to pay for that one. I was actually going to show my kids that one, but you have to pay for it. So I said, screw it. We'll watch the first 2 for free. And I don't regret it. So check out the Ghostbusters movies. They actually hold up pretty well and are very entertaining and funny.
People paid 2016? Weird.
Not me.
Yar.
JD?
I'm going to piggyback on something you recommended a couple weeks ago. I'm going to recommend Midnight Mass. I'm not done with it yet, but I'm about 4 episodes in, and I really like it. It's right up my alley as far as just weird, supernatural, thrillery kind of stuff going on. I don't know how it ends, but I'm really digging it so far.
Yeah. Oh, so you were at the one reveal, and that was kind of when I was like, I saw this coming since the first episode, but okay.
I did not actually. I did not see it coming. So
okay. Yeah.
That's what she said.
19. 20.
I don't want to give spoilers out since it's still
please. I'm still watching it. Especially to me, I'm watching the show. I told you I'm not finished, but it's good.
Yeah. All right, John.
Well, I would say go to these fine gentlemen's website and watch them, or YouTube, and watch them do reactions to Dragon Ball Z Abridged, because it is the ultimate abridged series. It's the one that ruined abridged series for everybody else, and it is probably one of the funniest things on YouTube. And there are 60 episodes, and they're awesome. And it'll brighten your day. As for me, I'm still working my way through the fall anime, soon to be the winter anime. So there's a new one that I found called Kokurio, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. And it's a nice little story. It's, there's no Super Sentai, no beam struggles, just a really nice story about a woman who's kidnapped into the other world by an Oni, Japanese ogre, and now is working in a restaurant there. So
that sounds about right.
Are these the same people that wrote Superman 3?
No.
They come back
that was bad.
All right. This is much more interesting and fun.
I will recommend that you go to superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast every week. Links to all our social media at the top of the page, comic book reviews by our good friend D Square, and so much more. And actual recommendation, I don't really. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I like the show too. I'll double up JD and triple up myself. Midnight Mass. Yeah, if you like supernatural thriller type stories, yeah. And if the reveal I think it's episode 3. I want to know, if you watch it, did you see the reveal coming? That's all I want to know. That's all I'm gonna say. So, and then it gets, there's more twists after that as well. But all right. Well, on that note, boys and girls, as always, thanks for listening. And don't let your cape get caught in the door. Have a good week.